So there I was, roaming around and expressing my thoughts on the minorities of the lands between.
Oh no!
Until I accidentally completed one of those painting puzzles and came across the Juvenile Scholar set. This outfit, how can we forget, is worn by those creepy kids that definitely exude future serial killer vibes in Raya Lucaria. Ugh. And upon remembering that, I realized that this armor set answers the one aching question I've had this whole game. No, not the many unknown godlike monstrosities and their relevance to the world. No, not why Melina hasn't handed me the papers to my 2022 model Honda Accord. And not even why it's spelled as Gaol. And thus, like any other dark Elden-born Souls Akiro, Rinse Die Twice fan, tripping balls on wondrous physics, I began my search for the Needless Floor. In one of the earlier main boss fights in the game, after fighting your way through an army of Greek philosopher live-action roleplayers, through the Academy of Raya Lucaria ready to claim the famed Rennala's Great Rune. Entering the boss room, you are greeted by a Japanese horror movie reject, but what he does is what has puzzled and haunted me for years.
I want him toad!
Why does he do this? Why would he lick my toes? Is he not aware this can constitute sexual harassment and I can take him to court and sue for damages? Well, no, in fact, he is not aware of that, nor is he aware of anything. In fact, this entire army of moon-faced emojis are not aware of anything, as we will soon learn. Reading the Juvenile Scholar set, we learn that other than it makes you look like an absolute dweeb, the item description says, "Robe worn by young Academy scholars, the juveniles birthed anew by the amber egg of Queen Rennala, the head of Raya Lucaria Academy. Yet their birth is not without imperfections, and thus do they repeat the process, eventually becoming utterly dependent upon it. Rebirth is as sleep to them, and with each awakening, memory fades into oblivion." If we take this quite literally, it could mean that these juvie scholars go through the process of rebirth on an almost daily basis. And rebirth is not without imperfections, which is something we can see as one of the possible ending for Best Boy Gok's questline,
Lord, my lord!
where we help him go through the process of rebirth simply because he has a low self-esteem. And he comes out looking not too fresh. Hey buddy, you feeling alright? Need a cheeseburger to lift your spirits? Maybe a little Happy Meal too? These imperfections could also explain why the juvies are always crawling around like they had their knees kicked inwards instead of walking. But this does not answer the fundamental question, why does he feel compelled to nibble your little piggies? Why licky my pinky? Why slobber my knobber? Well, we now know that these scholars go through rebirth on a frequent basis. So tell me, what happens when you're born? You become a baby. And what knowledge do babies have about the world? Absolutely nothing. Not a single cent in tax paid, not a single contribution to the world, and they say capitalism is what destroys us. These juvies that go through rebirth every day essentially wake up every morning as brand new stinky babies, and their memory fades into oblivion, and they wake up with absolutely no knowledge. I kinda see why nobody trusts Rennala to run a school, you know, where you learn things. Anyways, babies learn about the world through the most innocent yet nastiest way possible, by sticking things in their mouths. What scientists call oral exploration, tasting and feeling with their mouths like some kind of weird fly hybrid thingy. And that is exactly why these white-faced weirdos are doing this to you. They simply are curious and want your toes in their mouth, so they can learn about this mad world that we live in. And isn't that just all of us? Let me know what you think of my lore breakdown, or if you have any opinions on your own. Consider subscribing for a free 50% down payment on your 2022 Honda Accord.
You're beautiful.